So I've been to the DR quite often. You know, I was born here, but I have a lot of family that lives over there. So I've spent probably a cumulative of a couple years over there, over all the time that I visited. Um, I was just there last year. I try to go at least once a year, but sometimes it's not possible. But you know, I still got a lot of family over there. You know, my mom is over there. She retired back over there. A lot of my aunts and uncles live over there. I still have a couple cousins over there. So it's always nice to get out there. You know, get uh, back up to date with the culture and what's going on. Get that breath of super fresh Caribbean air, and you know, just have a good time with my family. You know, it's always a good getaway for me. I come back locked and loaded with good vibes. So absolutely, I've spent a fair amount of time in California and out on the Midwest and West Coast in general. Before I, you know, really taking on the Vitillaz project full time, you know, I DJ for a lot of artists and you know just helped them out a lot of the back end and production and doing remix and stuff like that. So I got to Atlanta about what, like 12, 13 years ago. You know, I'm originally born in New York and grew up mostly in New Jersey. Came down here when I was like finishing off high school. For a long time it was just me, my mother, and my sister who were all living together. And you know, he decided, hey, we're gonna move down to Atlanta to get, you know, a better kick on things because you know it is expensive living up north. And the first 2 years were kind of rough because you know you need a car to get everywhere. You don't know nobody, and you know I was a geek, but I was pretty popular still. So I felt like I hit the reset button and all my cool points and all my friends and everything. So I was just like, you know, I'm like fucking like 16. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you know, there's so many like mental battles going on, and you're finding out so much new stuff, and you're really trying to find a place. Even before I started producing music, I just love music always. When I moved there, I was playing drums. I was playing snare drum in the marching band, and I was beginning to learn how to play a drum set. So as time went by here in Atlanta, you know, I try to went on this website where you can like find like other people who are looking to start bands together. It's like a LinkedIn for like young, you know, musicians and stuff like that. So you know, I've got a band going, and you know, only lasts so long because it's difficult being in a band, you know, and that's what really kind of drove me to do more producing because I said, how can I create an outlet for music for myself where I don't have to depend on 4 or 5 other people to kind of create a product? Absolutely not. You know, I started in FL. I had just got a MacBook, a PowerBook G4 for those who remember. I needed a software that was more Mac friendly because my PC at home was just kind of falling apart. And that's what I had FL Studio on. So I said, well, let me try out and get a demo of Reason and put it on my Mac laptop and see how I like it because my Mac had a little bit more juice at the time. So I was like, hey, I need a little bit more processing. So I went to Reason. I learned Reason for a good while, and that was difficult, but I'm glad I went through that because anyone who uses Reason or try to use Reason knows that, you know, there's not really many shortcuts. It's very like as if you were routing things in real life and really actually physically connecting, you know, cables and inputs and outputs. So it teaches you a lot on like the traditional ways of doing a lot of the audio production work. So then after Reason, I moved into Logic, which is another, you know, Apple-friendly program, which I loved, and I used that for a good while. Then the workflow started getting a little bit slow for me, considering I was diving into so many different kinds of genres of music production. And not only that, I needed to crank out more product quicker. And Logic just didn't really have the quicker workflow that I thought was necessary for me to reach the next level. When I was done working with a lot of those artists I was DJing with, and I said, hey, I really need to go ahead and, you know, give myself a new brand and give myself a platform to push some of this new music that I want to work on. I spent months like figuring out a name. You know, I always wanted something to kind of correlate back to my Hispanic heritage and Dominican Republic and things of that sort. So I have like a nice little decent story to tell when people ask me that magic question like you just did. So Vitillaz is like an urban sport that is played in the Dominican Republic. When I would go visit when I was young, we would take the caps off the big water jugs that would get delivered in the morning. So you take the cap off that and we would throw that. And that would be like the baseball, and it would curve like a frisbee. And then we'd take a branch and swing at it. And that's how we used to practice playing baseball when we were young and in the streets because we couldn't afford baseball bats or just any equipment and things of that sort. So, and we call El Campo, which is like, you know, Hispanic for like, you know, neck of the woods, up in the mountains, you know. And El Campo, that's what we play, that urban sport called Vitillaz. So what I did was I put a Z at the end of it to make it more unique, and so I can have the same one across all social networks. So if you go facebook.com/Vitillaz, instagram.com/Vitillaz, so on and so forth, it's all the same. So that's how the name Vitillaz came about. Over the course of the Vitillaz project, I've always gotten like you know, a lot of good little, like, I guess you call them like booster hits where people like, you know, key people that I looked up to, or people that I was really trying to work with, or people that I was trying to, you know, get to book me or stuff like that. They were like, I can tell that they were taking notice of me. I would kind of see those little things happen. So it was never really like one big thing. It was more, it's been like this cumulative of all these little things just kind of just been slowly ramping the project up, 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 up. I think the first time I played at Opera, you know, on the main stage, and I was opening up, I think it was for Minotauranosaurus and Megalodon. Insane amount of good feedback on that show, and that was like one of the very first times I had paid a videographer to come out and get the footage, and I was able to kind of like reflect on the show and see people's reactions, and, you know, I mean, put it all together, like, wow, this is kind of like, I'm actually pretty good at this, you know. I'm not just kind of trying, I've gotten kind of pretty much past the trying point. So right then I was like, hey, you know, people are expecting me to do good, people are looking for me when I come out to play, so I try to keep that good, you know, vibrance going. So all those little things, man, they just have floated me along this far, so I'm grateful for that. I am working on new music, like always, pushing the Vitillaz brand further always, and expanding those horizons. The Vitillaz brand is, I'm known for, you know, not really sticking to kind of one genre. You know, it all revolves around, like, you know, high energy and, you know, very urban sound. But I'm always looking to, you know, go deeper down those separate doors and open more doors in within those doors, and really expanding on all those different separate sounds. If you go on my SoundCloud, you're gonna find very intense music, and you're gonna find also very relaxing music. So I think just furthering and fulfilling that spectrum even more, that's what I'm always trying to do. I got some music coming out on Block Society and some pretty cool collabs on the way. So I always like keeping those things kind of like secrets a little bit in there. So I just kind of drop them like, boom, here's something new. So be on the lookout for it. Man, working here at Third Eye has always been like a, you know, a funnel for good activity. As in, like, you know, anything that's usually going on here that's like arts-wise, like music-wise or photography-wise or video-wise, it's always like good product that's coming out, and it's always like a good, you know, like I said, it's like a good funnel of like people just coming together to do dope shit. So the track record shows that people keep coming back for a reason. So yeah, I definitely recommend anybody to come work here, because it's just a great vibe, the quality is great, and the environment is great. Just by working here, you're gonna run into people that can really help you take your career to the next level, whether it's musically or artistically. This is a place that could definitely always take it to the next level, no matter what it is that you're trying to do, because the resources are here and the quality is here. So always highly recommend it. This is your boy Vitillaz. I'm here at Third Eye Collective. Make sure you check out the YouTube and stay locked in for updates and new content.